Okay, old business. The letter regarding House Bill 1231. Do you want to?
Yeah, I brought this up at the work session, and then I brought this up at the work session, and Marcia distributed copies regarding this House Bill 1231. We spoke about it at work session. Since then, I sent an email to the Government Affairs Group at the Pennsylvania State Association of Boroughs, asking if there was any change on their position regarding this bill as it was amended by the Senate, and haven't gotten a response yet.
Okay. And for the public, this is a bill that is currently in the state Senate.
Passed as amended by the state
okay.
Senate in mid-October, and is now in the House Rules Committee.
Okay. And it is regarding workers' compensation for firefighters who develop cancer after having served as a firefighter, and it's an unfunded mandate, right? There's no money behind it, but there's a requirement of coverage. So we're trying to decide whether we should be joining other boroughs in opposing this, or whether the revised version of the bill is more acceptable.
Right.
Right. Okay. Good. Okay. Any other old business?
I just had one question, because at the work session we discussed the ordinance for the shade tree. I just want to make sure you have that, and do you have any questions or anything, and I forwarded it over to you.
I think you had sent me an
Fee in
email
lieu of?
with the PDFs of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll take a look at it, and I'll follow up with you if you can be the point person on that, and just to make sure I have all my questions answered.
Yeah, I think we just want to get it through before the end of the year for the budget, right? So.
Was my office authorized to draft that ordinance? I think at the work session that happened.
The work session, I don't think we did that.
Okay. Just because that's typically what happens.
Yeah.
I'd ask for a motion to authorize me to draft the the fee in lieu of ordinance.
Ways of getting it accomplished, maybe a direct service from whoever does leaf collection to residents, and you can just sort of buy in on a house-by-house basis or something. But I told this resident that I would bring it up to council again for us to consider.
Yeah, I think what was previously investigated was a leaf composting program, collection and composting, and that was not so much cost prohibitive, but we had absolutely no place to put it. But that Lower Makefield, which has an extensive leaf collection and composting operation, had actually, from what I understood, had maxed out on their space. And the thought was we could go with Newtown Township, which is actually mandated to have collection but isn't. And I think that's where it stalled. The two EACs started to talk about it, and then it didn't go anywhere. But I can raise that with the EAC and ask them if they'd like to look into the costs and so on. And we have, I don't know if our trash haulers provide that service at all. We could find out. Pardon?
They take it from the curb.
Would take it, yeah.
They take it from the curb in the brown bags.
Right, but I think they were thinking of, well, some people would like the idea where you just rake it into the street. Well, we used to have 2 or 3 collections in the fall every year, as I recall, a long time ago, where you put your bags out of leaves on, where you actually piled them on, two weekends in November, I believe. We used to have it, but then we don't anymore, right, Marcia? It was a long time ago. It was actually a borough. It was actually a borough activity. This one with borough used to do trash too. That was a long time ago, but yeah, they didn't have the vacuum trucks, but they would pick up leaves in bags. But all right, well, I will ask the EAC. I'll forward that to the EAC to take a look at it. Okay.
We have one item. I don't know, Perry, if with the grant, if you had an opportunity to discuss with Julia what we were thinking. I was approached by actually a township resident who lives a couple houses from the borough, who's interested in volunteering as the grant writer. So one of the questions was, do we need to require this person to live in the borough in order to do this? And there were some concerns about time constraints and what actually we were looking for, but I just wanted to actually address the first item is, does this individual need to live in the borough? And then if we feel that's not the case, then I asked to forward some information to you, Perry, as far as a background and what the experiences are. So I don't know if that's a...
Okay, Paul.
I'll look into it. I mean, I can't imagine that there would be required. So this is a purely volunteer group.
Right.
Is it in connection? They're not a member, sorry. They're not a member of any committee. It would just be a separate
Correct.
thing. Okay. I'll look into it.
Okay.
I was actually thinking about whether there might be somebody in the college who's in informatics or something and needs to develop some kind of a database for us as some kind of a project for a degree, or who might be interested in doing that too. I was just thinking about that today. So, okay. Any other new business?
I'll just mention real quickly, it occurred to me that I didn't at work session, there is a, except to touch on it, there was a Boy Scout, actually several Boy Scouts who were interested in Eagle Scout projects. One young man is specifically interested in rebuilding the Memorial Day platform/stage, and was out this past week to do measurements and begin to put together a proposal, which then would come to us for consideration and then go to a Boy Scout council at the county level for approval. But if that was approved, then that would be his project, and I've asked him to put that together in writing and come to perhaps our December work session for purposes of meeting us and discussing it. And if we like it, which I hope we will, then we'll give him the go-ahead to take it to county then. And then he has till Memorial Day.
Okay. Anything else?